Hey everyone, my name is Oscar Raven and today we are going to be doing a Pokemon challenge in which I can only use in-game traits to beat all of Pokemon Soul Silver. Right now you're seeing all of the in-game traits that are in the game, and yes, we are going to be doing all of them. I think this will honestly do for a really fun challenge, make me be very careful about my levels and be smart about my moves. Also, in case you don't know, you have to be careful with in-game traits because they can be disobedient and this can be just such a pain. So let's explain the rules. I can only use Pokemon I have gotten from in-game trades. If I have to evolve a Pokemon before trading it, I'll only be able to use it in wild Pokemon, but no trainer battles. I'll need other Pokemon for HMs, but I can't use those Pokemon in battle. No items in battle, only held items. Now, let's begin. Also, if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, it would really help me out a lot. Enjoy! So first of all, I pick Cyndaquil. It doesn't matter which starter I pick because I will only be using it until I get to Violet City. Once I get there, I catch a Bellsprout, and in return I get an Onix named Rocky. Not the most creative of names, but whatever, let's move on. With the Onix, first I have to grind up a little bit, since the Bellsprouts in the tower are enough to take me out. I was able to clear it all out with minimal difficulties, however when I'm done, I'm over level 10, meaning Rocky will now disobey me. When I get to Falkner, it goes perfectly since I'm rock type and he uses flying types. He really can't do much to me, but I can hit him like a semi-truck, so the first badge is ours. Then, after traversing Union Cave, avoiding as many trainers as possible, I was able to get to Azalea Town. First clearing out Slowpoke well, and leveling up a little bit, I was able to head into the Bug Gym. Entering the gym, I was sitting perfectly at level 19, so I wouldn't be disobedient. So I was able to one-shot the Scyther with Rock Throw, taking a bit more time with the Metapod since I wasn't able to one-shot and he healed with a Super Potion, and finally Kakuna, who was an easy one-shot. Now, a rival fight. I can't hurt him at all. I can take out his Ghastly no problem, but his Croconaw is an absolute brick wall, so I'll have to grind. Luckily, there are a lot of trainers that I skipped, so I just go back and fight them to get a couple more levels and try again. I go into the battle at level 24, and it still takes a significant amount of attempts until I get this one. Ghastly is out, so I set up a Sandstorm and I take it out with one Rock Throw. Next is Croconaw, so I Screech to lower its defenses, as it uses Scary Face. I use Rock Throw to take out over half its health as he uses Scary Face again. Next turn he outspeeds and he hits me with a big Water Gun, leaving me with only 17 health, but thankfully one more Rock Throw is able to take it out. Last is Zubat, he confused me, I hit myself with Confusion, he bites me, I get flinched, he bites me again, and with only 6 health I am able to get off a Rock Throw to take it out. That was way too close, I can't wait to get my next Pokemon. Getting through Ilex Forest isn't anything special, but on the next route I did have to avoid every single trainer so that the next Pokemon could have those levels. I catch a Drowsy and trade it for a Machop named Muscle. He's gonna be great for the next gym, plus this is really just a solid Pokemon. When I first got Machop, he was level 12, but thanks to all the trainers that I didn't fight, I was able to get it to level 20 before the gym battle. And it went really well. She opens up with Clefairy and I open up with Rocky. I use Sandstorm and she uses Metronome, that was a Brick Break, for a pathetic amount of damage. And with a couple of Rock Throws, she goes down. Next is the dreaded Miltank. I start off by screeching it 3 times as she stomps me for little damage. She then uses Attract, so I switch to Muscle. Tank a Stomp and finish it up with a Karate Chop. I really like this battle. It actually required a bit more strategy. Now, we start heading into Ecruteak City for the Ghost Gym, leveling both Rocky and Muscle in the process. And now, a rival battle in the Burnt Tower. I completely forgot about this rival battle, so I had Muscle out, so I had to switch out to Rocky, and Ghastly uses Meatlook. Next I use Rock Throw but miss, so it uses Curse, taking out half its health but also a quarter of mine in the process. One Rock Throw is enough to take out the Ghastly, but because of their Curse, Rocky's health is now at half. Next is Croconaw, so I send out Muscle to overpower him, using Revenge, but when he is at a sliver, he sends out Zubat, so I'm forced to take out Rocky. He confuses Rocky, and on the next turn he hits himself in confusion as the Zubat bites him. Luckily next turn the Rock Throw lands, so he goes down. Croconaw is out again, so I again switch to Muscle, taking it out with a Karate Chop. Last is Magnemite, so one Revenge is enough to take it out. Right after that battle, Muscle is also able to evolve into Machoke, an amazingly strong Pokemon that is definitely gonna pull a lot of weight. And now we go into the Ghost Gym. However, when I try the gym, it's not even close. I'm able to get past his first Ghastly, but his second Pokemon is already too much and it can easily take out both my Pokemon. But I do have a plan. In the next city I can get a Voltorb that could help us out a lot in the battle, so I head over to Olivine to get a good rod and catch a level 20 Krabby. In return, I get a Voltorb named Billy. I start leveling him up with the trainers on Route 19 and on the Lighthouse, learning Self-Destruct and Charge Beam. Now, as you can see, this still took a painful amount of attempts. At first I was opening up with Rocky because I thought he was my best bet, but it turns out that Billy was really the only one that was gonna carry me through. On my winning attempt, I open up with Billy and use Charge Beam, one-shotting the Ghastly and raising my special attack stat by 1 stage. Next is Gengar and I use Charge Beam for just under half its health as he uses Hypnosis, putting me to sleep. Next turn I'm still asleep and he uses Mean-Look. Finally, Billy wakes up and he uses Charge Beam, leaving the Gengar with his liver, as he uses Shadow Ball, leaving me with 18 health. But one more Charge Beam is enough to take it out. Next were the 2 Haunters, but they both went down easily to 1 Charge Beam each. Now I can surf outside of battle and head on over to Cyanwood City for the Fighting type gym, and the medicine for Jasmine's Pokemon. The Fighting gym is always a pushover, and this time it wasn't any different. He was barely able to deal any damage to me, and Billy was able to carry us once again. Now, after giving Jasmine the medicine, I'm able to take her on. I tried the fight multiple times, however, the Steelix is just too much for me, until I get an idea. Take out her Magmamites with Machoke. When the Steelix comes out, use Rocky to use Screech 3 times to lower its defenses, and finally taking out Muscle once again to take him out in 1 hit. I have noticed that Cannon Fodder are really common in this run. I don't care, it just makes runs more interesting and fun. After that, we have to clear out Rocket Team hideout in Mahogany Town. Its only real use for us is to get us a couple of levels for Rocky, because I don't know if you realized, but Rocky was falling behind on levels until I realized that the next Pokemon we got was after the 8th gym, so I'll need all the help I can get. After clearing everything out, we can go against Bryce. It was unexpectedly pretty easy. He opens up with Seal and I with Billy. He uses Charge Beam for almost all of its health, while it uses Icy Wind for passable damage, but another Charge Beam takes it out. Next is Piloswine, so I send out Muscle. He outspeeds and uses Hail while I use Revenge and miss. I didn't even know that can miss. Next turn he uses Blizzard, taking out a little under half my health, while Revenge lands for a 1-shot. Last is Dugong, so again Billy's out to use Charge Beam, leaving it in deep yellow health. It fights back with Aurora Beam, but I take it out next turn with another Charge Beam. This battle didn't require half as much strategy as the other ones, but it's nice to get an easy fight every once in a while. Now we go into Goldenrod to take out the last of Team Rocket, and as with the Rocket hideout, it's mostly useful to level up our Pokemon. However, during clearing up everything, my rival challenged me to another battle. He opens up with Golbat, so I start with Billy. I use Charge Beam for almost all of its health, and in return he uses Bite for okay damage. Next turn, I take it out. Next is Alligator, and 1 Charge Beam is enough. Hunter comes out and is another 1-shot. Then he sends out Sneasel, so I send out Muscle. He gets a critical feint attack for an annoying amount of damage, but one Revenge takes him out, and lastly Magnemite is able to get a Sonic Boom out but goes down to another Revenge. I don't know what I expected from Silver, but he isn't a very sharp trainer, just like his papa. After traversing to the Ice Path and defeating every trainer in the gym, I take on Claire. She takes me out on my first attack, but on my second it goes a lot better. She opens up with Gyarados, so I start with Billy, using a Charge Beam, leaving it with incredibly low health. She uses Dragon Rage for 40 damage. She then uses a Hyper Potion, 1 more Charge Beam is enough. Then comes a Dragonair, so I send out Muscle to overpower it. She paralyzes me with Thunder Wave, but I'm able to take her out in 1-shot thanks to my ability that raises attack when I have a status affliction. Next is Kingdra, so I send out Billy to get some chip damage in. I use Charge Beam for very little damage as she uses Hydro Pump, leaving me with only 13 health. I get off one last Charge Beam, but she hits a Citrus Berry to take her to green health and finishes me off with the Dragon Pulse. So I send out Muscle again. She hits me with a Smoke Screen and I hit Revenge for very solid damage, leaving her in red health. Next turn she uses Hydro Pump, misses, so I'm able to Vital Throw, taking it out. Last is another Dragonair, who is only able to Dragon Pulse Muscle once before I take him out with a Vital Throw. You see why this challenge is so much cooler than the Bellsprout one? You just get to mix in a lot more strategy and cool plays than usual in this one. Now we are able to get another Pokemon. However, first we have to grind up a Dratini, then evolve it into a Dragonite, and then trade it for a Dodrio. It turns out, the Dratini I got from the Dragon Master was a male, and she wanted a female for the trade. So I had to waste another hour to breed my Dragonite with a Ditto, get an egg, make sure that Dratini is a female, then grind it up to level 30 and then finally trade it for a Dodrio. And I'm finally able to head to Victory Road and take on the Elite Four. Right before I get to the Pokemon League though, my rival challenged me to a final battle. He opens up with Sneasel, but I have Doris out front, so I switch to Muscle, tanking a feint attack that did almost nothing. Next turn he outspeeds and uses another feint attack as one revenge takes him out. Next is Kadabra, so I send out Doris so she can get some XP. He outspeeds and uses Reflect as I go for Pursuit, dealing about a third in damage. Next he uses Disable for my Pursuit, but I had a Tri-Attack, putting him a little under half health. Next he uses Psybeam, taking out a very good chunk of my health, but I use Flight to take it out. Next is Magneton, so I send out Muscle. He uses Supersonic, confusing me and hitting myself in confusion. Next turn he uses Spark, but I am able to break through the confusion and land a revenge for an Oko. He then sends out his Crobat, so Billy is out. I use Charge Beam and he uses Confuse Ray. I hit myself in confusion next turn and he lands a Bite for a sad amount of damage, so another Charge Beam takes him out. Next is the Fagaligator, who is a one-shot as is his Hunter. Man, I know the rival in this gen isn't the best, but he really sucks. Now we can finally go into the Elite Four. First was Will, and he took a very good number of attempts, but finally I got a very good run. He sent out Satu, so Billy is out, taking him out with 2 Charge Beams. Next is Jinx, so Rocky is out to use Rock Throw, dealing a very good amount of damage. However, she uses Psychic, dealing over half my health in damage, but one more Rock Throw is enough. Slowbro is out next, but Billy takes him out on 2 Charge Beams. Next is Executor, but I keep Billy out to take advantage of the special attack boost, taking it out in 2 hits. And finally, the last Satu comes out, but of course, it's a one-shot. Next is Koga. He opens up with Ariados, so I start with Doris. I use Fly for almost all of its health and damage, but he uses a Poison Jab for half my health. One Pluck takes him out. Next is Fortress. He first uses Protects, but on the next 2 turns I'm able to land Vital Throws, leaving it with very little health. But he switches for Venomoth, right after using Toxic Spikes, so I send out Rocky. He poisoned me with its Toxic Spikes and I use Rock Throw, leaving it in deep yellow health as he uses Supersonic. Next turn I hit myself in confusion as he uses Psychic, leaving me with only 17 health. Luckily, next turn he goes down to a Rock Throw. Fortress is out next, so Muscle comes out again, but he uses Explosion, so we both go down. I send out Doris just to avoid the Toxic Spikes, but he sends out Crobat. He uses Wing Attack, leaving me with 9 health as I accidentally misclick and use a Tri-Attack for almost no damage, so next turn he finishes me off with a Quick Attack. I send out Billy again, who is able to take it out in 2 Charge Beams, and next is his Muk. I use Charge Beam once as he uses Minimize. I run out of PP, so I just self-destruct, taking us both down, only leaving alive my Onix. Barely. Next is Bruno, and man did I struggle with him. Even his Hitmontop was too much for Doris, since she was so underleveled, but once again my stubbornness shines through, getting me this attempt. Starts with Hitmontop and I with Doris. He uses Quick Attack for about a quarter of my health, and I use Pluck for a little bit over half its health. He uses another Quick Attack and I another Pluck to take him out. Hitmonchan is next, so I switch to Billy and use Charge Beam for very little damage, as he uses Fire Punch. However, he gets paralyzed in the process thanks to my static ability. After exchanging a couple of hits and him full restoring, and me being able to get in 1 last Charge Beam, his Onix comes out, so I'm forced to switch out to Muscle. He uses Earthquake for very little damage. Next turn he uses Sandstorm and I use Vital Throw for almost all of its health. He uses another Earthquake, but 1 Karate Chop is enough. Next is his Hitmonlee, so Doris is out, but she gets one-shot by him, so I send out Billy to use Charge Beam, dealing a little under half its health in damage. He uses High Jump Kick, but misses, so he crashes down, taking some damage, so 1 more Charge Beam takes him out, and finally Machamp is out. I get off 1 last Charge Beam, but he cross-chops me and takes Billy out, but gets paralyzed in the process. I send out Rocky and use Screech as he uses Cross Chop, leaving me with very little health. However, thanks to good paralysis luck, he didn't hit me until I got all of my Screeches in and used 1 Double Edge to take him out, leaving only Muscle standing. These fights are way too intense. I do like it though. Next is Karen, and finally I got an easy fight. She starts with Umbreon and I start with Rocky. I try to Iron Tail it but missed. Next turn I use Rock Throw and she uses Payback. Next turn I use Screech and she uses Payback again. I use 1 more Screech as she uses Feint Attack, leaving me with only 40 health. I use 1 final Screech as she uses 1 more Payback, leaving me deep red health. I finally attack with Double Edge, hoping to OHKO, but it's not enough and Onyx goes down. I then send out Billy and use Rollout but miss, so she uses a full restore. I use Rollout again for pathetic damage as she uses Payback for a quarter of my health. Gets paralyzed, but also paralyzes me with Synchronize. I use Rollout again but miss as she uses Confuse Ray. I then get sick of the stupid Umbreon, so I send out Muscle and tank a Payback, and then taking it out in one hit, just after she used Confuse Ray. Murkrow is next, so Billy is out, and she uses Faint Attack, leaving me with a little under half my health, as I take it out on one Charge Beam. Houndoom is next, so Muscle is out again, taking it out with one Revenge. Gengar then comes out, so Billy is out to try to overpower it. She uses Focus Blast, leaving me with 14 HP, as I use Charge Beam for a disappointing amount of damage. So next turn I go down. I send out Doris and use Pursuit, leaving it with a little under half its health. Another Pursuit leaves it with a Sliver, and just before I take it out, it uses a Focus Blast, leaving me with 18 HP. Last is Vileplume, so I keep Doris out and use Fly for almost all of its health, but go down in one acid, so I just send out Muscle and take it out in a couple of Revenges. Finally, onto the champion Lance. I tried this so many fights that I honestly just lost count. I always used a different strategy and it never worked, so I just decided that if my stats were just a little bit better, I'd be able to do it. So after a whole day of grinding, I get up my team to level 57 and try again. First this is Gyarados, so I have Billy out up front. I use Charge Beam, almost taking him out in one hit, as he used Waterfall for way more damage than I would like. He full restores, but one more Charge Beam does the job. Dragonite is out, so I send out Rocky. I somehow outspeed it and use Rock Slide for over half its health and damage, but he hits a berry and is in green health again. I use another Stone Edge, leaving him with a Sliver as he uses Outrage for over half my health. Thankfully a Rock Throw hits, so he is down. Another Dragonite is out, so I keep Rocky in the fight. I use Rock Slide for very good damage and he misses with Blizzard. Next turn I miss and he hits, so Rocky is down. I send out Doris for sheer damage and take it out with one Peck. That I didn't mean to write Peck, I meant to write Pluck. Aerodactyl is out, so I send out Muscle. He outspeeds and takes a very good chunk of my health with Aerial Ace, as I take him out with one Revenge. Charizard is next, and I hope that Muscle can at least get some damage in, but it outspeeds, taking Muscle out. I send out Billy and use Charge Beam, but miss. He uses Fire Fang, leaving me with 57 health. Another Charge Beam lands for over half its health, and not as he uses another Fire Fang, leaving Billy in rough shape, but one more Charge Beam is enough. Finally, the last Dragonite comes out. Billy was out of PP, and knowing Doris probably wouldn't be able to take that thing down, I just used Billy as a hand grenade and take him out, winning us the game. Holy crap, this run really needed some strategy and thinking outside the box. I really enjoyed it, and while the main game may be over, we still have to do the secret final boss right. Also, I finished getting the rest of her Pokemon. I ended up getting a Satu named Paul and a Magneton called Maggie. Nothing very interesting happens in Kanto, all the gym leaders are pushovers and there's very little story. All except Blue, who actually put up quite the fight. He opens up with Executor, but I have Billy up front, so I have to switch to Doris immediately. He tried using Hypnosis but missed, so next turn I land a Drill Peck, taking out almost all of its HP as he uses Psychic, leaving me in yellow health. Blue uses a full restore and he uses another Drill Peck, again leaving him with a Sliver. But another Drill Peck takes it out. Next is Rhydon, so I take out Muscle. He uses Earthquake, leaving me near yellow health as one Revenge ends him. Pidgeot is up next, so Billy is out. I use Charge Beam for a little over half its health and damage, but he hits a Citrus Berry, so he's healthy again, and lands a Return, leaving me with 93 health. I use another Charge Beam to put him in deep yellow health. He uses Mirror Move, but it does almost nothing, so one more Charge Beam takes him out. Machamp is out next, but I keep Billy out to make use of his special attack. I again use Charge Beam, taking out almost all of its health, as he uses Dynamic Punch and it actually lands. That is annoying. Next I send out Doris and use Fly, but the Machamp has Stone Edge, so he hits me, even when I'm up in the air, taking Doris out. I send out Paul, my new Satu, for a one-shot with Psychic. Gyarados comes out, so I take out Maggie, my new Magnemite, and one discharge is enough to take it out. Finally, his Arcanine comes out. I send out Muscle to try and overpower it, but he immediately hits a Flame Burst, taking Muscle out. So Paul is out again, and I use Confuse Ray, and lucky me, the Arcanine hits himself. Next turn, I use Psychic, leaving the stupid Fire Dog with 1 health. Obviously, Blue uses a full restore, but 2 more Psychics do the job. taking the Arcanine out and winning us the game. Again. This challenge isn't necessarily hard, but it just makes the game more fun, forcing you to use cool strategies and smarts rather than just overlevel that one Pokemon. Now we are able to climb Mount Silver, and I take the chance there to grind up everyone to level 85. If I don't do this, I doubt I'll be able to beat him. But I see him, alone on a cold mountain top. No words spoken. I just silently challenge him to a Pokemon battle. And here we go. I meant this to be all dramatic and cool, but I tried the fight for about half an hour and I just can't beat him. I can get all the way up to Blastoise, but no further. I'm gonna try to put Rocky back in the team, but he'll have to be a much higher level for his stats to actually be useful. After so many failed attempts, I went into it with a different strategy, actually thinking on the other Pokemon's movesets and working around them. So, here we go. Red opens up with Pikachu, so I start off with Rocky. Thanks to him being over leveled, he outspeeds and takes the Pikachu out with an Earthquake. Next is the Lapras, so I send out Billy to use Charge Beam once, and then self-destruct to clear that threat. I then send out Rocky again, thinking Charizard is next, but Blastoise comes out, forcing me to switch to Maggie, tanking a Blizzard. Next turn he goes for Focus Blast, but misses thankfully, as I hit him with a Discharge, putting him in deep yellow health. He uses a full restore, but I hit another Discharge, taking him out with a crit. Charizard is out next, so now it's Rocky's time to shine. One Stone Edge is able to take him out. Next is Venusaur, and I really fear this one. I send out Paul and use Psychic, leaving him with very little health, but he Sleep Powders and next turn he uses a full restore. Next turn I'm still asleep, so he hits me with a Sludge Bomb. Thankfully I wake up next turn and take him out with one Psychic. Snorlax is next, so I send out Muscle hoping to end it quickly, but on his first Blizzard I get frozen and taken out. Not looking good. I sent Maggie for pure power, being able to get off 2 discharges before going down, then sending out Paul to use Psychic, leaving him with his liver, and the Hail finally takes him out, winning us the run. This final boss was absolutely brutal. I had to work around my moves and my strats so many times, and honestly, I really didn't think Rocky was gonna be that useful. That run was so much fun, but I don't really know what I'm gonna do for the next Pokemon challenge. If you have anything in mind, please let me know. I'll be happy to hear your suggestions. I don't care what game it is, I just wanna make content for you. Although I am thinking on starting doing Let's Plays. That could be fun, I think. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, bye bye.